Hi, my name is Zoe Barbra. I am a sophomore here at Vanguard. I am majoring in history, poli-sci, and am minoring in theology. And this is my story. So, I guess I'm just telling you guys my testimony, which I feel like some of you already have heard. But I'll go back to the beginning where I wasn't even born. Basically, of how my testimony goes is that there are two men in my life that have affected me and my mom. So, first of all, the first man, we'll call him Walker, because some of you may know, some of you may not know that on my birth certificate, I am Zoe Barbra. Zoe Walker. Walker was part of my life for a little bit, and he was with my mom, and my mom was under the impression that they would be getting married soon. But when I was born, she did put his name on the birth certificate, so on the birth certificate it said that he is my father. And my mother was under the impression that he was my father, which we will get back to later. Walker was in my life in and out all to the age of, I believe, 11. He wasn't the greatest father figure, but he tried to be there when he could. But I think at the age, grade, 8th grade, I really started to focus on this man Walker was not in my life like other fathers were. And I didn't want to carry a last name that didn't appreciate me or my mother. So I started having the conversation of I want to change my last name to my mom's maiden name, which is now Barba. I always have this hold on the name Walker of, yes, he wasn't the greatest father figure, but he tried. But I didn't want to have that hold on something that he didn't give appreciation, that I didn't have appreciation for. So as soon as I got to change my name to Barba, I felt that I gave my mom the validation she needed, and also the mother and daughter relationship that we have. And I love my mother so much. She is my rock. She is my superhero. She is everything I ever need in life. But with coming and changing your name, there's also paperwork and having to go to court and doing all this random stuff. So when wanting to change my name legally, I would need my biological father, which Walker was not my biological father as we thought. Going back to when I was unborn, my mom was also seeing a guy previously who actually was my biological father. She was under the impression that it was Walker, but it was actually we'll call him just biological father. So when I was born and my face got more developed, she really noticed it in my nose where it did not look like Walker's. So Walker didn't mind that I was not his. Anyway, so he was still in my life, in and out. But when my mom contacted my biological father saying, I believe that Zoe is your daughter, firstborn, he was very scared and basically was never in my life. So my biological father, me being his firstborn, decided to just not be part of my life and didn't contact my mother, didn't help, didn't pay for child support. So it's all these feelings. And my mom told me at a very young age where I could fully understand that when Walker was in my life that he was not my biological dad, and my biological dad didn't want to be part of my life. So that's one thing that my mom and my grandparents that time I was very grateful for that telling me at a young age, because I can be, people that know me, they see me as a very bubbly, smiley person. So I think with me having such a really positive outlook on life is definitely because of that moment, because there are some parents out there that decide that they shouldn't tell their children till later. So I'm very thankful that my family decided to tell me when I was very young. Even though I was still developing on those things, I'm so glad that they were trustworthy and just told me the honest truth. But with telling me the truth, I don't think it really affected me that much when I was a little bit younger, because maybe I didn't fully understand it. But I think when I reached middle school and high school, I started to see the things that I don't really get to do. For instance, father and daughter dances. I never got to experience that. I never had a dad come out to my athletic games or see me get awards. So I think that's when it started hitting me a little bit harder when I got to in those age ranges. My sophomore year in high school, I found out that my biological father had another family, and he had a daughter that I believe that she is 6 years younger than me, I believe. But what I did not know is my mom contacts my biological my dad's family every year. She never tells me when, just to reach out. And my sophomore year in high school, that side of my grandma contacted back like, who's Zoe? So my mom was under the impression that my biological father told his family about me, but they did not. They didn't know my name. They didn't even know he had another oldest daughter. So that also hit me really hard too, of knowing that he had another family and that he didn't even mention me about it. So that hurt me significantly, and I think it was just a lot in my mind of me like, why was I not good enough? What did my half sister do that I didn't? What did my mom do that you didn't want to marry her and have a family with her? So all these questions just kind of started forming up over the years of my high school years. So all these questions forming up, and in this mindset, I was like, luckily I also had my youth pastors at the time during my high school years, and I'm so thankful for them. And they really taught me about how you don't have a physical father, but you have a heavenly father, and that was all I needed. And I'd stay true to that. God is the only thing I need. But I wouldn't be truthful. I wouldn't be fully truthful if I wouldn't say like it would be nice to have a physical father too. And I had some father figures that, like my youth pastor, that taught me like what a true man and what a true father should be. All the men in my church, or all the coaches I've had, they taught me and my grandparents, what a dad and a husband should be treated like. So I'm very thankful for all the influence I've had, but still a physical father would be nice. So over the years, high school, all the questions, all the mindset I've had, it would come in and out of flows. But then I reached college, and I've always had a really good relationship with mom, still do, whatever. Like I said, she's my rock, she's my everything. And I always had the mindset and wanting to grow and wanting to know answers. So my freshman year of college, which was last year, spring semester, I made the decision to contact my biological father and to get those answers. It was a tough decision. I called my mom, called my grandparents, called my pastors, called my friends from back home to get their input. And all of them asked me if I was ready for this. And to be honest, I wasn't really sure, but I think my mindset and my spirituality and my relationships I have with every family member I have and friendships I have, that was all I needed. And whatever the outcome was, that they were going to be right beside me. So, also involving this, I've only seen pictures of my biological father. So I knew he had social media. I never really looked at it because I was always too scared to, but I feel like I was ready then. So I went on to Instagram, I typed in his name, and he was public, so I got to see his Instagram. And his Instagram very surprised me because in his bio, it said that he was a Christian, and that he's a teacher, which some of you may know, but I want to become a teacher. He also works with special ed kids, and he coaches. And I was, in my mindset thinking this, I was very much of like, he's changed. Maybe there's a good outcome to this. Maybe we can have some sort of relationship and I would get the answers I really needed. So I sent him a message basically saying, hi, I'm Zoe Barbra and I'm the daughter of my mom. And I think that you were my father. That was all I said, and I sent the message, and I did look at my phone for a couple hours. And then I talked to my mom one more time, and she was like, she basically told me to be prepared, because he could answer and he could not. And she doesn't want to get my hopes up, which my hopes were definitely not up. I tried to forget about it for most of the day, until I got back to my room. It was just a normal day, hanging out with my roommates, hanging out with my friends, all that kind of stuff, until they asked me about it to check. So I did, and I was prepared for a response, or to not get a response at all. But what I was not prepared for was that he blocked me. So I was very emotional, obviously, in that point. I was always in the mindset of how I didn't want my biological father to have this hold on me, because he was never in my life, and he doesn't deserve to be in my life. To have this hold, to be in, like, just to have a hold on me. But in that moment, I instantly broke, and I was so mad at myself that I let him get to me. So as of right now, I'm still going through the motions, even though it was last year, and I want to make that clearer, as in, it's okay to still be going through it, and you shouldn't have to pick up all the pieces immediately. You should have some time to think and to grow in those moments, and just to feel those emotions. And I think the main message I want to have today, that in my high school years, I was very much in the mindset of, like, my father is my heavenly father. He's always there beside me. Whenever I need him, he is there, which I still believe till this day. But now going into college and having this moment with my biological father, that he wrecked me and ruined me in this moment, I don't have to pick up all the pieces. It can be a slow process, and that I have time to understand everything of it all. So I think in this moment, I'm still going through it. I still share my story because I'm still going through it, and that means I can still help other people that are going through something similar with me, either with their father, their aunt, mother, friends they had in the past. I still think my story matters in other people's lives, and I feel like it is very important to talk about that. If you are still not in the right mindset, that's okay. You don't have to be happy and positive all the time, and that you deserve to feel and be in this moment of sadness and weakness and in pain, because it's a natural emotion that you feel as a human being, and it's okay to just feel all of it instead of just skipping to the next chapter and just being all happy and joyous again. So that is mainly my story, and that I am still figuring out till this day. But yeah, that is my story.